Did you know? The bigger and brighter a star is, the faster it burns out. Because massive stars are like cosmic overachievers. They burn through their nuclear fuel far faster than smaller stars. Imagine a blue giant shining like crazy, but poof! It'll only last a few million years. Our sun, a steady yellow dwarf, will stick around for about 10 billion years. And those tiny, faint red dwarfs? They're the marathon runners, lasting trillions of years. When big stars die, they go out with a bang, a supernova. Smaller stars just fade away quietly, so in space you can burn bright and die young or stay chill and live forever. Which would you choose? Did you know? Some butterflies' ears are on their wings. Meet the wing ear, a tiny tympanal organ. Think drum skin. Tucked near the base of certain butterfly wings, tucked near the base of certain moth wings, it vibrates with low-frequency sounds, the kind made by bird wing beats or a bat's echolocation clicks. Why put ears on wings? 2 words, survival advantage. On a flying insect, wing-mounted ears give a wide listening angle, so threats can be detected from many directions. Some moths even distinguish different bat calls and perform dramatic evasive dives, like nature's aerial emergency brake. Not every butterfly has these wing ears. Many stick to sight, many stick to scent. But for those that do, listening while flying is a literal superpower.
Did you know? Sound can be in negative decibels. The decibel scale isn't absolute, it's logarithmic and compares sounds to a reference. For sound, that reference is the quietest thing most humans can possibly hear, set at 0 dB. But what if something is even quieter than that? Those sounds get negative decibel values. 10 dB means it's 10 times weaker than the quietest thing you can hear. Doesn't mean no sound, just means you can't hear it. But a sensitive microphone might. It's like temperatures below 0 Celsius, they exist, just colder. So yes, sound can totally be in negative decibels. Now you're in on the secret.
Did you know? Scents smell better through your right nostril. Your nostrils go on a schedule called the nasal cycle. Every few hours one side opens up more, the other gets a bit congested. That's controlled automatically, no conscious effort required. Now the fun twist, each nostril links to the opposite brain hemisphere. The right nostril talks more to the left brain, the side for logic, the side for language. The left nostril leans toward emotion memory. Studies found right nostril scents can be judged as stronger, more pleasant, sometimes better remembered. So it's not that one nostril is always superior. It's about timing airflow, how your brain processes smell.
Did you know? A straight line doesn't exist in the real world. A perfectly straight line only exists in math. A straight line literally means no wiggle anywhere, perfectly straight with 0 deviation. But in reality, everything's made of atoms, not perfect lines. Atoms are never arranged perfectly. Tiny irregularities everywhere. Even your ruler looks wobbly under extreme magnification. Even a laser beam looks wobbly under extreme magnification. On the quantum level, particles are never in one exact spot. So true straightness becomes physically impossible at that scale. Add Einstein's twist. Space itself is curved by mass. So even light bends when it passes near heavy gravity sources. And let's face it, measuring anything with infinite precision is not happening.
Did you know? Wearing hat on your head helps warming your feet. When the rest of your body is bundled up, your head becomes one of the main places where heat escapes. To keep your core warm, your body reduces blood flow to your hands and feet, which is why you end up with chilly fingers and numb toes. Put on a hat, and you cut down that head heat loss. Suddenly your body doesn't have to clamp down circulation so hard and your feet get more blood, and more warmth. So no, heat doesn't travel magically from your scalp to your soles. It's about preventing loss at the top so your body can relax and keep the rest of you cozy. Did you know? Panda droppings can be made into paper. How it works? Pandas eat mostly bamboo, up to 40 kilograms a day. Bamboo is full of cellulose, the same fibrous material used to make paper. Pandas don't digest bamboo very efficiently. About 70–80% of the fiber passes through into their droppings. This makes panda poop a surprisingly good raw material for paper making. The droppings are collected, cleaned, sterilized, boiled, and then processed into pulp that can be dried into paper. Why do this? Eco-friendly. It recycles waste into something useful. Some parks in China sell panda poo paper products to raise conservation awareness and money for panda protection. And people love quirky, eco-based souvenirs linked to pandas. It's not just pandas. Other animals like elephants also have dung that's used to make paper, since they also eat lots of fibrous plants.
Did you know? If an emperor penguin egg touches the Antarctic ice, it almost always dies. Why? The South Pole gets so cold, think minus 40 degrees Celsius, with winds that could blow your hat clean off. The egg is tiny and loses heat fast. Even a couple of minutes on the ground can freeze the embryo for good. So, penguin dads balance the egg on their feet and tuck it under a warm flap of skin called a brood pouch, keeping it at a cozy 35 degrees Celsius, perfect for growing chicks. If that egg slips and hits the ice, the embryo can die in minutes. That's why penguin fathers huddle together, braving months of fasting, braving freezing winds, just to keep their precious eggs alive. Did you know? Deaf people can use sign language in their sleep. Here's why it happens. When hearing folks talk in their sleep, it's usually some mumbled nonsense. But for deaf people, dreaming can mean sleep signing. Hands start moving as if they're telling a story. Arms start moving as if they're telling a story. Even facial expressions start moving as if they're telling a story. This isn't just random twitching. Studies show that deaf people often dream in sign language, and their brains light up just like when hearing people dream in spoken words. Family members have even spotted clear signs happening mid-dream. Now, it's not always perfect grammar. Just like sleep talking, sleep signing can be a bit jumbled or incomplete, but it proves something cool. Sign language is a full, real language, processed by the brain just like speech. Did you know? Apples you find in the supermarket can be a year old. Here's how supermarkets pull off this fruity magic. Most apples are only harvested once a year, usually in the fall. But walk into any supermarket, and you'll find apples no matter the season. So, what's the trick? Supermarkets use special storage called controlled atmosphere. Think of it as a spa for apples. They tweak the oxygen, carbon dioxide, temperature, and humidity, slowing the apples aging so they last 6 to 12 months. To keep them looking extra tasty, apples get a thin layer of edible wax, giving them that shiny, just-picked glow. This also helps them stay crisp and fresh for longer. Nutritionally, apples keep most of their goodness, though vitamin C takes a slow fade. Did you know? Up to 90% of US dollar bills carry traces of cocaine. Bills circulate everywhere, passed from hand to hand, wallet to wallet, and sometimes, yes, used to snort drugs. But even clean bills get contaminated, just by rubbing shoulders with dirty ones in registers' counting machines. Multiple studies found tiny cocaine particles, just billionths of a gram, on most cash. Not enough to feel anything or get in trouble. And it's not just America. Cash in Europe, Canada, and Asia has drug traces too. Did you know? Tigers have striped skin, not just fur. A tiger's stripes aren't only in its fur. The skin underneath is also pigmented with the same pattern. If you were to shave a tiger, you'd still see the stripes on its skin. Why this happens? The stripes come from pigment-producing cells, melanocytes, in the skin. These cells control where black, orange, and white fur grows. Because the pattern is rooted in the skin itself, the fur and skin match. Just like human fingerprints, every tiger's stripe pattern is unique. Researchers use stripe patterns to identify individual tigers in the wild. The vertical stripes break up the tiger's outline in tall grasses and forests, making it harder for prey to spot them, especially since tigers often hunt at dawn or dusk. So yes, tigers have striped skin and striped fur. It's built into their biology.
Did you know? Early golf balls were stuffed with bird feathers. Let's go back to the 1700s. When the feathery was king of the course, craftsmen would soak goose feathers, chicken feathers, jam them into a leather pouch, stitch it tight, paint it white. As the feathers dried, they'd expand, making the ball rock hard. Impressive, right? Well, sort of. Featheries took a whole day to make and cost a small fortune. Plus, if you played in the rain, that pricey ball might split apart. So only rich golfers could afford to lose one. Then came the gutty, a cheaper, tougher ball made from tree sap. Suddenly, everyone could join the game. So next time you tee up, remember? Golf's early days were strictly for the birds.
Did you know? Most of the wasabi you eat isn't really wasabi. Real wasabi, the kind from Japan, is a rare plant called Wasabia japonica. It grows only in cool mountain streams. The part you eat is a thick stem called a rhizome. But here's the catch. Real wasabi loses its flavor just 15 minutes after grating. So, what are you actually eating at most sushi spots? usually a mix of horseradish, mustard, and a splash of green food coloring. Why the swap? Real wasabi is super hard to grow and can cost up to $200 a kilo. So only fancy sushi restaurants splurge for the real deal. How can you tell? Real wasabi is milder, sweet, and doesn't burn your nose. If it's neon green and hits you like a freight train, yup, that's horseradish. Like and subscribe for more fun facts.